If you guys have been following along with the channel, you know that I installed a RaceChip Tuner last week in my brand new Jeep Wrangler JL, and this is a week later. In today's video, I wanted to give you my experiences in the past week, try out each of the modes, and kind of maybe show you guys a little bit of the difference. But overall, I'm super pumped with this product. Let's jump into it and see how we do. Well guys, as many of you know, I've been in the Jeep industry for a long time, and there's been a lot of products that I've personally seen that have been, there's a word for it called snake oil. Now, when I say snake oil, it's kind of like smoke and mirrors. It's a throttle body spacer. It's the twisting hurricane throttle body adapter that'll give you 20 horsepower. It's stuff that doesn't work, but there's no real way to prove that it doesn't work. You know, if you're gonna add 5 horsepower, you're not really gonna notice anyways unless you take it to a dyno. I was a little bit skeptical when I first started reviewing tuners and kind of the add-on ECU chips, programmers onto the Jeep to see what it really could do. You know what I mean? I am one of those guys that I don't like to waste my hard-earned money on something that's not going to work. With this, I can tell you I am seeing a difference. So the biggest thing that I've been able to use during the week is I use eco mode while I'm driving back and forth to work, and that seemed to help me by adding almost like, it was like 1.2 miles a gallon that I'm used to getting. So I have been going back and forth between the modes, but I am noticing in the eco mode, especially on the highway, I am really getting a lot better fuel economy. It seems like even at the lower speeds when typically you'd get less fuel economy, I'm kind of bumped up in those numbers. So I don't know if it's up to 20% like they claim, but right away I did notice a little bit of a difference. If you have a longer highway commute, that's where I'm really seeing the benefits. Because when I was on the highway, it was averaging almost 28, 29 miles a gallon, which is absolutely ludicrous. So I wanted to do a little bit of comparison here. The eco mode is what I stay in a lot of the time. And I'll say we're kind of making the same loop around here. We're driving safe, we're not going above the speed limit, but in eco mode, you do feel, I would say, like just a little bit hint of less power. So just a little hint of a little bit less power than I'm used to right off the gate. And of course, you're gonna have that when you're trying to reduce gas consumption. So in the eco mode, just for that loop, I was averaging right around 26, 27 miles per gallon. We're gonna change it into sport. Now, sport gives you a little bit more adjustability. You have 7 settings, so from mode 1 through 7, 1 is the least aggressive and the most economical, and then 7 is your race, all out, ready to go mode. So in the sport, you can adjust it in the fine tuning side to go from modes 4, 5, or 6. I have it in 5, so kind of middle of the road. And I would say sport, if you want to do number 4 or 5, it's kind of just a little bit more peppy. There's like 3 modes, so 3 stages. So we're turned it into sport right now. Of course, when I do this, I kind of have to press the gas, and you can feel a difference. Not as much when it's in race mode, but I can feel it in the sport mode, just a little bit of a difference. I'll probably not get as good a fuel economy because I'm pressing the fun pedal a little bit more, but I would say you can feel it, it is there. But then when you're off the gas, what's crazy about the 2-liter, it begs you to get good mileage. So I'm still getting, like, when you lay off the gas, it's still like up over 30, just kind of cruising. It's crazy. So before we get into the mode that everyone of course wants to see, the race mode, the high output, the fastest one on here, the biggest thing that I liked about this tuner, now mind you, I've been installing a ton of Jeep parts throughout the years, and when it comes to the technology that these things offer, it's gotten so advanced from when I used to begin with this, when you could buy a little chip tuner for a TJ that literally you had to plug it directly into the ECU. I mean, it was crazy. You couldn't really tell if you were getting any differences. It had no modes to change. It was just they were jet tuners, I believe was the name of them. And then the JKs had a little bit more. You could get big screens on the dash and tap into it with your laptop and update it all the time. But then we get to this, where if you guys have seen the installation, where you literally unplug 2 connectors. If you have like 3 basic hand tools, you can install this, and then you have the app right on your phone. So I can kind of toggle back and forth between listening to music and changing a mode right there. So this is probably the pinnacle of the ones that I've seen as far as the tech that's added to it, and I'm a really big fan of it. You know, I can't say enough about the ease of use of this too. If you, like I said, have a couple tools, you can get this done, and then you can put it into race mode and have some fun. I was just showing Ryan, I kind of gunned it going down through there a little bit, and you can definitely feel and hear the difference. So we're at a stop sign, we're on some backcountry roads, let's pull out and see if we can get it to chirp. Jesus, dude. I mean, it kind of like, it's spinning 35, so.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel it. Definitely faster than a 2.7 liter Bronco. So we're gonna try and do, we'll pull onto the highway here where we can get up to some safe speeds, and I'll go to the entrance ramp and we'll do a 0 to 60. We'll do it first in the, just off. So the nice thing on this tuner too, if you don't want the tuner on at all, you can press a power button at the lower left, turn it completely off. So we'll do a 0 to 60 with the tuner off, and then we'll go to race full number 7 mode and do the same 0 to 60. Same weather, same temperature, same top configuration, and really see what the differences are. So one thing just noticing too, like I kind of live in a hilly area in Pennsylvania, and going up and down the hills when it's in race mode, you really do feel the difference. So I would say probably in sport or race is where I might keep it to tow my off-road trailer. It almost feels like you're getting a tow haul mode out of it. So I think that, and then maybe combined with, like, they have almost a pedal response modifier. It's called I think it's XLR by RaceChip. That changes the responsiveness of the electronic pedal control. So unlike the older vehicles where you actually have a throttle cable, this is all electronically controlled, and it adjusts the input to the output to the ECU. So maybe I'll have to install that on there too and really see what kind of power. Heck, maybe we'll race a 392 one day and see who wins. I don't know. Probably the 392 still, but oh well, you can try. So I got the tuning off. Tuning is deactivated, so we're gonna do 0 to 60. So I just gotta kind of like pull out here and I'm gonna stop. All right, ready? 0 to 60, let's go. Definitely you could feel the less power on that. You could feel like initially it didn't have as much power when it's in race mode. So we're gonna turn this back on, back into race mode. We're gonna turn around up here on the highway, and then we're gonna do 0 to 60 in race mode. And Ryan, you're gonna have to let us know. You're kind of the judge in the back there with editing. All right, Ryan, we might have to turn and burn. All right, let's do the same thing. 0 to 60, let's do it. Ready? It felt a little bit more. It felt like towards the higher end when it's starting to make more power, that it had a little bit more to it. I don't know, it could just be me. Now obviously we're not racing this thing, we're not going down a quarter-mile drag strip with it, we're just driving it, but it felt like I had a little bit of something. Well guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I know that for some of you that have been patiently waiting since I did the installation for the review, this is it. So this was the review. I don't like to do just install it and drive it around the block and say, yeah, it's awesome. I wanted to drive it for a week, figure out all the modes, really tinker with it and make sure this was a cool product and a good product before I said, yeah, this thing works on my Jeep. So it'll be interesting to see long-term how this performs, how it holds up. And I'm excited, and I know Ryan is, for longer road trips. If I can drop this thing in eco mode and save ourselves 2 to 3 miles a gallon, that's really gonna add up if we're driving out to Michigan or up north to Maine or something like that. It's gonna save fuel and just help us out. Plus the race mode too is neat, just to have fun on some backcountry roads like we did today. For those of you that have been following along, we just hit a pretty big milestone. We hit 5,000 subscribers. And if you guys have been looking at all of our videos, I'd try, it's either me or it's Ryan, dropping a comment back to every single person that comments down there. And you know, it's something that I enjoy to do. I like to have the camaraderie, the community behind all of this, and really just talk to you guys. So thank you to all my 5,000 or so, sincerely from Ryan and I, that have subscribed along. It's great, and we love to have you here. So if you wouldn't mind, give a thumbs up and drop a comment like usual, because I love to see what you guys have to say and comment back on it. Until next time though, I am Matt from Dirt Road CRED. Get out there and earn yours.